What's up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we have a new video for you for Sons of the Forest. We're going to show you 20 Sons of the Forest tips and tricks, and let you know what we know about the game so far. Let's get into it, shall we? So our first tip is going to be keep Kelvin and Virginia. The reason why is because Virginia can actually be equipped with a pistol later on and help defend your base. Like so. And she has unlimited ammo. Kelvin can get multiple items for you like sticks, fish, logs, rocks, and he can also clear the area up to 20 meters. He can also follow you and build a fire or shelter. So that brings us to our next tip, and that is that Kelvin near a water can be an infinite amount of food for you. And the way you do this is you make him follow you with the notepad, and then you could just have him follow you to where you want him to drop stuff. Right here, we're going to have him drop fish near our house here. So I'm going to ask him to get fish and drop it here. And he's going to agree to do so. And what he's going to do is he's going to go over to this water source that we live next to, and it'd be advised to live next to a water source or close to one. And he's going to pick up a fish from the river and drop it where you asked him to, or close to it. And he'll continue to do that indefinitely. All you got to do now is take the fish and cook it or dry it. So we just gave him the command to drop the fish inside the base, and we're going to see how much he gets after 5 minutes. And it's been about 5 minutes, and he's got about 6 fish. And drying it is going to lead to our next tip, and that is drying racks are completely OP. They will dry your foods for you, and if you have several drying racks and Kelvin getting you fish, you'll always have food. And you can also just straight up eat fish as well, and there's no negative effects for it so far. You know, like sushi. Drying racks will dry your fish, and it will last for a very long time. And if you have tons of drying racks like this, it'll be nice, won't it? No. Go. Get out of here. So yeah, use drying racks for all of your meats and dry it. Just throw your meat on the drying rack and you will dry your meat. So you can use zip lines to transfer wood long distances. As you can see, our base in the distance over there, and we got a little zip line here set up. If you get close enough to the zip line, you'll see that you can hit E to put a log on the zip line. And when you do so, your logs will go down the zip line and continue to stop and hit your house there, and they'll go to the very end of the other side of the zip line. And the way you do zip lines is you do have to get the rope gun, and you do have to have a zip line rope to actually use the zip line. And we do have a guide on our channel on how to get the rope gun, so check that out if you haven't got it already. And you can also throw your logs down rivers like this. Yeah. So the next thing we're going to show you is how to put markers on your map. So the best way to do this is to go into your little orange box here. And if you find GPS locators, I think you get one by default, and then you can find some in bodies later on. And you just take a stick and put that into your hands, look down, and hit right click. And when you see the circle, left click. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bring up your inventory again, left click on a GPS locator, and you can right click as to what you want to indicate on the map. And then you're just going to left click on the stick, and you'll see that that adds a GPS locator to that stick. It does seem like currently that there may be a bug when you place them, and as you can see on our map here, there just becomes a green walkie-talkie icon. So this will be working as intended, hopefully in the future, but whenever you bring that out of your hands, it turns into a green walkie-talkie. So unfortunately, that's the only icon that looks like it's sticking for now, but you can mark stuff on the map with GPS locators. So our next tip is that you can see recipes on the crafting mat. So for example, if you wanted to know what duct tape can make, all you have to do is right click and put duct tape up there. And as you can see, there's multiple items here that aren't grayed out. These items are available for you to make something. And also you have the little gear icon here. If you hover over it, it will give you a full list of things that you can craft, and the stuff you have in gray means that you can craft it. If it is red, that means you don't have the item to craft it. We're gonna put some fireweed up here, and fireweed can be combined with these other things to make energy plus mix and health mix. One of the things, for example, being vodka bottles and cloth will give you a Molotov. And you can see what vodka will make. If you hover over it, only thing it makes is Molotovs. And you can also do cloth the same way. It makes hide armor, leaf armor, and Molotov. Circuit board will make tech armor and a time bomb. So just kind of explore with what you need as far as your recipes go. And add the item. Batteries will make tech armor. And also you can refill things with batteries, such as your flashlight, stun baton, and your chainsaw, which is now electric. Oh, Kelvin. The torch can be quite an OP weapon whenever you first start the game. And as you can see, if you just smack them with a torch, you can light things on fire. Fire use seems to be quite effective for cannibals and mutants. Sometimes the dudes will just freak out like that, and you just keep lighting them on fire. So yeah, don't underestimate the torch. You craft a torch with a cloth and a stick. So our next tip is going to be showing you how to save and sleep quickly. So what you're going to need is a tarp, and you find these throughout the game. There's quite a few of them you can find. I usually end up not even picking them up because there's so many of them. But you're going to find your tarp, and then you're going to keep you a tarp and a stick on you at all times. And if you do so, you'll always be able to save or sleep. And what you'll do is you'll put your tarp down like that. Then you'll bring out a stick. And just prop up one of the corners here. You'll see an arrow or up arrow. Just left click on that. That'll make you a kind of makeshift tent. And as you can see, you can now sleep and save. So it's quite easy. You can actually pick this back up again and take it with you. But you can save and sleep on the go. So the next thing we're going to show you is how to do keybinds in the game. So what you do is you hover over an item, and on the number pads 1 through 0 or 1 through 9, whatever you want to use, underneath your function or F keys. For example, if you want your very first weapon to be an axe or something of that sort, you'll hover over that and hit 1. And then you can assign maybe your spear to number 2, maybe your flashlight number 3. So you can assign it to whatever you want. And so what you do is when you come out of your inventory, you're going to hit that number, and it's going to bring up that weapon. So we hit 1, 2, 3 for our flashlight. So pretty neat. You can do a hotbar now. You don't actually see the hotbar in the game, but you just hit the button and it will change it for you. You can also put things on your backpack. So if you right-click your backpack and then put items on it, for example, we want to put this tactical axe on there, or our firefighter axe, maybe this club, and then you right click it once you're done putting that on your backpack. Then once you go out of your inventory, you'll hold I, and it'll bring up your backpack, and you can select those items. Hit I again to remove it, hold I to bring it up, and then you can use whatever item you want. So the next tip we're going to show you is how to zoom in on your map. And some people may or may not know this, but you can actually zoom in and out on your map. If you click the scroll wheel on your mouse button, you could change how zoomed in or zoomed out you are, and it'll change your map for you. Now this one may or may not be fairly obvious, but I'm going to show you anyway. There is a light on your map. So as you can see, it's quite dark right now, and it's quite dark in this house here. There is a light, and it's right here in the bottom right corner of your crafting mat, and you can turn it on and off. And you can also change the light color. Just press it, and it will change the colors. like so. The printed sled that you can get from the 3D printer is quite OP, and I'm going to actually demonstrate how. So what you do is you hit space to jump, and then you left click while you're in the air, and then you can go down cliffs and whatnot. Using left and right to steer a little bit. Like so. So if you need to get down a mountain quite fast, that's one way to do it. There are multiple locations for the 3D printer, as you can see here. So as you can see, the sled is about 1,000 milliliters of printing fluid. And once you have that, you just craft it. And then the sled is crafted. Also, there's several other things that you can craft, such as arrows, a flask, a mask, and more grappling hooks that are used to make more zipline ropes. So you just take a rope and a grappling hook, and it makes a zipline rope. So you can trade with other people when you're in a multiplayer game. The way you do that is actually look at them and hold E. And that will bring up a separate pad here to the left, and these are your items that you could trade to this person. So you can hit R or Q to go through and cycle through what you want to give that person. For example, if we wanted to give them a vodka bottle, we're just going to left click and throw it into their bag like so. Or same thing with a Molotov and a flare. What about an energy drink? So you can throw whatever item you want into that person's bag. If it's not available here on the mat, that means it cannot be traded. And other people can throw stuff into your bag as well. As you can see, they just threw an energy bar and an energy drink back at us. And some energy mix. So yeah, you could trade with other people in multiplayer. So the next tip is going to be that you can make enemies die to water. As you can see in this clip, we were letting enemies kind of just hit the water, and as soon as they get into deep enough water, they will die. And that goes for the big ones as well. So the next tip we're going to show you is how to make some basic armors. And you can see this in your book, but we're going to show you how to make bone armor. First, what you need is about 4 bones. You need some tape and some rope. And that will craft you some bone armor. And then you could just either right-click it to put it into your inventory and use it later, or left-click it to wear it now. You can also make animal hide armor with some cloth and hide. And you can also make leaf armor. So that's 10 leaves and 1 cloth makes a leaf armor. You can also make tech armor with tech mesh, which is crafted at the 3D printer, batteries, circuit board, wire, and duct tape. Got a stump in your way? You can get rid of stumps. All you have to do is continue to hit them with the hatchet. Any hatchet will work, and that will get rid of the stumps in your way. If you hit B by default, you can bring up your survival book and hold X to switch modes between blueprints. These are blueprints that you can make in world. So for a skull lamp, you'll put a stick in the ground, a cloth on top of it, and then a skull. And I'll show you how to do these. And how to build as well. This left-hand side will give you blueprints where you can craft things that you want to make. Furniture, storage, utilities, gardening, and traps. And all you have to do with these is just basically click on them, place the ghost blueprint, and then fill it up. And one of the most basic things, how to make a fire. Just left-click whenever you see 2 sticks, left-click again, and hold E. So you can use the cross to scare enemies, like so. Sometimes he'll go and he'll step back, sometimes he'll do a in-place roar. But yeah, as long as you have it out, use it like so. it'll step back sometimes. You can also use the red mask, which is branded at the 3D printer. As you can see, when we have the mask on, sometimes it'll stop and step back. It'll do an in-place roar right there. There it went step back, and now it's attacking. And there it goes stepping back again. You can also use a skull. Skulls scare the enemies as well. As you see, he's stepping back. Alrighty, so some real quick building tips. If you grab a log and look down at the ground, you'll see either a circular pattern or a flat pattern. Of course, you can use Q and R to rotate logs and whatnot. And hit right click, that means you're going to actually just stick the log into the ground like so. Hold C to pick up items. You can pick up about anything that you place. Like so. Hold R, you will rotate. Also, there are other building options like building stairs. As you can see, the outline looks like stairs. When we were going to place it, if we were to right click, you'll see it looks like a ramp. So that flat going back and forth like that is a ramp, and that's stairs. So we're going to build some stairs. And as you can see, we can't right click and change it once we start building those stairs. The only way to change that is to pick up these and then right click again. Now you can see when you got individual planks that you'll see either flat or it'll be kind of horizontal instead of angled with the logs. When it's like that, it's a stair. When it's like this and slanted, it's a ramp. Also, if you see this little icon right here, it looks like an arrow kind of going upwards. What that means is that that slanted log will be straightened. Watch. Raise it, and we'll make one of those. Otherwise, you'll have to tear that back down again. Do the slanted log, like so. And we did it again. Of course, whenever you kind of semi-box in something, you should be able to place floors. And this is how you do floors. Like so. Also, just another quick building tip. This is kind of my answer to the issue with there's currently no gate in the game. They should be adding it hopefully soon. But this is my answer, just doing a kind of a stairs over your ramp. And then, of course, I put 2 up top here. Kind of keeps them out, but they can also just kind of jump over as well. But better than a door, better than nothing. We can also get in and out with zip lines, so... Also, now shelves are super overpowered compared to the forest, the original forest. As you can see, there's tons of items that you could stack on top of these items as well. The shelves hold a ton of items now. And you can hit E or C to actually put items into the slot. If you hold E, you'll bring up your little pouch here, and you can select what you want to stack. Let's go ahead and throw some skin pouches in there. And you can store items and multiple items per shelf. So they're really, really overpowered. I think they're really, really nice shelves compared to the original forest. And you can store tons of stuff. And it only requires 2 logs to make this. And guys, that's it. That's 20 tips for Sons of the Forest. If you made it this far, we're going to give you 2 bonus tips. There's 2 extra options we're going to talk about underneath gameplay, and it's going to be structure damage. So if structure damage is on, that means that things can destroy your structures. If you turn structure damage off, you can still have combat and all that good stuff, but the only thing that will not be able to happen is you cannot destroy your structures, and neither can cannibals or mutants. So as you can see, we're going to go ahead and whack at this wall here, and nothing's happening at all. You cannot destroy a structure, and neither can the cannibals. So if you're having some serious problems with structure damage, or base is getting wiped out completely, maybe consider using this option. You also have big head mode, and this is actually a really funny feature. I quite enjoyed it. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. It basically makes every single creature and player in the game, and also NPCs, have big heads. Here's Kelvin and his giant head. And here's a squirrel with a giant head. And as you can see my shadow, I have a giant head as well. And Virginia has a giant head as well. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to the channel for other guides and videos just like this one. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Peace.